All right. Hey guys, it's India SuJuan. I'm the owner of SuJuan's Decor and SuJuan's Decor Design and Events. You can find me on Instagram at SuJuan's_decor, or you can find me for my events. You can find me at SD_events_Parma. I also have an event studio located in Parma, Ohio at 11727 Snow Road. So come and check out my building. I'd love to have you.
All right, y'all. This is the very first episode of The Creative Mind. And I'm your host, Dwight. My co-host here, Donnie. And we got a very special guest, India from SuJuan's Decor.
Hello.
And we're gonna ask her a couple of things. It might get a little bit emotional, it might not. It just depends on how deep she wants to dive into answering these questions. But Donnie, kick it off, man. Let them hear your voice.
All right, y'all. Peace, peace. Thank you for tuning in. So the first question was, how has your identity as a Black woman influenced your creative journey and the ways you approach mental health?
How has me being a Black woman impact me being a creative?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I don't know exactly how, or if I can measure how my Blackness has done or not done anything as far as being a creative, but I feel like what pushed me into be a creative was a job that I didn't like. I had a supervisor who was awful. And because of that, it forced me to kind of pray about getting into alignment with my divine purpose. And I felt that I was discriminated against because I was the only Black person in the department. So it forced me to kind of get into a lane where I felt like my work and my ethic, or just me expressing myself, will be heard. Working where I was working at, it wasn't necessarily highlighted, or it was people stealing things that I had created or that I had done and taking it and saying that I got the team to do this, when it was actually me asking or pivoting or implementing these things.
Stealing your intellectual property.
Yeah. So it forced me to get into alignment with exactly what I'm doing now. And there was more of a reciprocation or return back in the things that I was doing, because I was seeing my business grow. I was seeing me grow as a person. So I think that being a Black woman just in general, I feel like oftentimes our voices are not heard. So it forced me to make my voice heard.
I heard that's peace. I kind of was in the same situation for real, because creatively, I never felt like I was acknowledged at work. It was just more, make sure you following the systems that's in place for you, tread the line. So I didn't have a lot of room to explore and navigate. Working within the corporate structure and following the blue collar way of living, I didn't know how much potential I had.
I wasn't gonna cut you off. I was just gonna let you roll. Same situation. I liked some of the verbiage that you used, and I wanted you to, if you didn't mind, sharing the process of getting in alignment when you were saying and praying into your purpose, because mine came from pure anger. Me and Donnie talked about this on previous conversations where we recorded, to where greatness comes from dark places. So yours came from a place of positivity and looking for an answer through God, but mine was from pure anger, because I remember at a point in time there was a dollar amount that I wanted to make, and I had my mind focused on that dollar amount. Then I started applying for so many jobs based on that dollar amount. And after I went on several interviews and I never got that dollar amount, I didn't get that job, I didn't get that promotion. That's when I started to create that job myself.
I wouldn't say that I was happy being discriminated against in a workplace, especially in corporate America. It's not a good feeling. So I think that instead of being enraged with that, I think that my frustrations pushed me and motivated me more to go out there and do what I'm doing now. But I leaned on God more so. to just kind of guide me, because everything that I was doing at that time, there was no return. There was no elevation. I wasn't getting promoted. I was like, God, I'm gonna be in this position forever. I ain't gonna never get promoted. So what are we doing here? So yeah.
Like, so when you was going through that and you made that shift, did you feel like a part of you had a sense of relief?
Yes. Once I started, because I was having like anxiety attacks going to work. Like, it was bad. Like, my just being transparent, my doctor had prescribed me anxiety medicine because I used to hate going into work that much. And when I started to design and to decorate, I realized that, wow, this is something that I loved. So it gave me just kind of like a mental break from like all of the things that I had to endure or deal with from a day job. So even if I was like dead tired, like if I knew after work I had to go and shop or I had to go and design something, I would get a burst of like energy or excitement, or I would be up late and I'll be tired, but it's like I'm doing something that I love. Like, the excitement would keep me up. So it gave me a mental break from feeling anxious.
It was like the monotony for me, because I can definitely relate, but my shit was totally different. I was coming off of being in the military. I had got out in 2016. I stopped doing, my weekend warrior stuff. And then coming into work, I'm drinking 24 ounces of beer before I even go to work, just to get through work, because mentally I'm not being stimulated to the point where I'm interested. And customer service is not my bag. If you know me, I do not operate well on the phone. I don't. If you come with attitude, I'm giving you attitude. If you come with pleasantries, then I'll give you some pleasantries. But I'm not built for sitting behind a desk and serving anybody. That's not my bag.
Yeah.
So for me, the start from going from working a 9 to 5 to trying to work for myself just was when DoorDash dropped. I was like one of their first droppers. I started doing that, and then started to do deliveries for Red Cross. That was my sense of inspiration to start getting creative, like getting creative with my time, trading my time for money. And that led to me writing and then working on my first book, because I had so much time giving back to myself. Because eventually I got fired because my aspirations was too high. I didn't want to go to work no more, to be honest. So I did some crazy-ish and wound up getting fired. And then making that shift and having so much time to myself to really envision and manifest and think about what I wanted to do, that's when I started to jump into my creative bag. And I think, like, when you working for somebody else, you give them so much of your energy. It's the energy part. Like, what do you have left for yourself? That's usually what I'm trying to tap into when I'm trying to create.
Well, I kind of wanted to get into how many clients did it take you, or how long were you designing in your designer bag to where it made you realize this should be a business and this is a real thing for me? Let's start.
I would say I was on project number 4, and it was in, I want to say, June or July. And one of my sorority sisters had told me, like, you need to get an LLC because you are working in people's houses and you are not insured, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, oh yeah, no, I need to do that. At that time, I don't think I even knew like what it took to be a business owner at that time. I didn't know what was an LLC. How do I go about getting an LLC? So I had to really educate myself as time went on. Like, I didn't have a blueprint. Like, I had to formulate my own journey, my own blueprint based off of work experiences that I had. Like, I was in management a lot from college until adulthood. So I had to utilize those skills to get there.
Like, why you was... Go ahead, bro.
Is it safe to say that every job that you had previously kind of were the stepping stones to help you flourish in the position that you're in now? Absolutely.
From me being 14, 15 years old working at McDonald's to adulthood and running my own business, I actually recently drove through McDonald's or whatever, and it was a young lady there. And I like overheard her saying like, well, this ain't my job. I'm not about to take this serious and da-da-da. And then she had came to the window. She's like, oh, I love your car and this and that. And I was like, I used to work at McDonald's just like you. I was like, even though it's not your job, it's not your career, it's not your like future thing, I advised her. I was just like, I run 2 businesses right now. I was like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, those skills that you develop and you learn from working for other people that own businesses, it may very well like help you in your journey. So even though it's not your main job, treat it as it is your own. Come to work, be punctual, learn the business, so that you can utilize those things once you get off onto your own thing. Whether that's just working in corporate America, like learning how to give good customer service, being punctual, being timely, moving quickly, but paying attention to details. Like all of those things help out later on in life. So yeah.
Like with you being in the creative industry, and it being madly competitive just because of the social media aspect, what are some challenges that you have faced thus far?
I would say challenges is creating content. That is not. I don't like being on camera, and I have to force myself to be on camera.
And we appreciate it.
Hey, but I would say creating content because it's so competitive, and some people are just like in that creative aspect, they are light years ahead of like where I am with like stuff like that. So, and it's very competitive because everybody wants, the first thing that they go to, especially when you have businesses like mine, is, oh, let me see. They don't even ask for your website no more. They ask for your social media because they want to see what type of person you are. They want to see your personality. Also, if you're working in their house, they want to know who's coming into their space. So I have to force myself to be on social media and to create content. But I would say that that's the thing that I dislike the most. And then when you spend hours making them and you don't get a lot of likes on it, I be mad for real. Because I like all the editing and stuff. No, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
I can understand where that comes from.
Like, share, subscribe, y'all.
I understand that
because y'all kept asking.
That instant gratification that you want from that.
Yeah.
But we also grew up with it. And, we come from a time of where people will like anything. You know what I mean? Because it was your friend. But now social media. I took a social media fast from 2013 to 15. And when I left, Instagram was only pictures. When I came back, they had video. And the culture was different. I felt like it was so narcissistic because like everybody who once followed me back, when it went back to following me back, they didn't follow me at all because I didn't have followers.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's insane.
So it's all a game now. You just got to kind of look at it like a game. You put the work in, people see it. And what's funny is the post that I posted today from a previous conversation that me and Donnie had is, when you see people in person, they small talk and they going to say, I seen you on social media. I see what you're doing, but they didn't like it. They didn't share it. They didn't comment.
All the time.
Exactly.
So, all the time.
With that being an acknowledgement, you just got to keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody gonna flock once everybody else flock. And that could be the culture of social media or just even the culture of our own Berry City. But
yeah.
Don't let that discourage you. Just keep doing what you got to do because you've got to be the face of your business. You have to be the person that's consistent with creating the content because once you stay consistent, then that's when people are going to say, oh, I take you serious. It's like a person hate to support you for you to do something today and then be done with it tomorrow. And I feel like that's how a lot of people look at it because even with people that's been begging for the creative mindset right now, which is a real thing, it exists. People have been saying, what's up with the podcast? Where can I watch it? But I've been keeping it in a chokehold because it's like after I drop it, what you gonna do? You're not even sharing the little tidbits of what I'm giving you already right now. So how can you appreciate a whole piece of work? You get what I'm saying?
It definitely take time, and it takes a certain level of vulnerability to sit up here and put yourself out here to be judged, to be scrutinized, criticized, whatever. and you looking for, we just posted it not too long ago. I'm looking for any type of reception back, anything, any type of feedback. With that being said, how do you protect yourself mentally and emotionally when you are creating? Say you do go into somebody's house and they give you a design and they may not, you know what I mean? Like, how do you protect yourself?
Like if I like make a design for a client and they don't like it, that type of thing. Like, how do I protect myself mentally? I haven't really had that happen, but I've had people be like, "Oh, well, can we take this out or can we do this and the third?" And I don't take it personal because I feel like this is your house. You have to live in it, not me at the end of the day. So if something that I created or I thought would be a good thing to put into your space, if you don't like it, then let's get it moved, because ultimately, one, you're paying for a service, and if that's something that you don't want it. And two, it's like, yeah, this is my creativity, this is how I express myself, this is my art, but again, this is your house. You have to walk in it, you have to live in it, so it has to make you feel good when you're here. So
that's good to know that you are a collaborator at heart. Because that's one of the hardest things for creators to do, is to collaborate and share their vision with somebody else and take in what their suggestions are, what their thoughts are, and try to embody that and then manipulate everything and push it out there. So that's definitely important.
yeah, I agree.
So what is your mantra? Do you have a mantra?
Give me an example.
Like, well, to describe it in more detail, any specific habits or practices to keep you grounded? You know, like a reset button.
I wish I did. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When it comes to that, I'm not the best at it. Like, I'll have something lined up, like, okay, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna, write in my journal and this and third. And then it's like, when life starts going, it's going. So I don't get the time to write in my journal, because as I'm sitting there writing in my journal, in my mind, I'm like, you could be working on a design. You could be working on that content. Like, you sitting here wasting time doing this when you could, So I need to start making more time for just myself, because I have experienced burnout more than once. And at that point, it's just, everything is depleted. Everything stops. I can't keep, I just have to pause.
So since you've experienced burnout multiple times, how long do you stay in that rut?
It all depends. In all honesty, coincidentally, every time I have experienced a burnout or just something in life that has had to make me pause my business, it has been right on time where it's not too much going on. So if it's like, if I'm burnt out, like if I have like one project instead of like 5 or 3 or whatever, I'm able to slow trail and do that, because it's not overworking myself to do it. So, yeah.
You still nervous?
Kinda. Sitting here sweating. That's why I brought this shawl, because I got this satin shirt on. Like, you don't see my arm.
It's all right. It's just the lights. The lights is hot.
Yes.
You ain't nervous. It's all right.
So that brings me to what keep you grounded through it all? I mean, the rigmarole, the monotony of, supporting yourself, going to work, because I'm sure you have a salary-based job, a 9-to-5, and then you also is pursuing your dreams outside of work. How do you stay grounded? How do you keep the main thing the main thing?
I do make time to be around family. Family brings me joy. I'm very family-oriented, so I guess that's something.
That's why I called you Auntie of the Year.
Yeah.
I see you.
Being around family, it brings me a lot of joy. Also hanging out with my core group of friends. We'll go out to eat, or we'll have girls' night. We're all extremely busy. But like I would say every 3 to 4 months, we'll make time. Like we do little things like individually or together, like in between time, but then we come together all together. Like I would say 3 to 4 times where our schedules align and we all come together and do like dinner at a really nice place and stuff like that. So I guess those are the things that keep me grounded, but I don't have no like rituals where I like do certain things daily.
What does self-care look like for you? That phase though.
Cause y'all keep asking me these questions, I ain't organized. Self-care. I don't know. I mean,
How does India care for you?
Maybe bringing you here is probably helping you find these answers
So
you
this
can
is a
get.
I would hope
station.
so. I would hope so. Look, we therapeutic.
No,
we therapeutic, bro.
these are things I know I need.
Iron
but-
sharpen iron. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So if you ain't got an answer for us, hopefully if you decide to come back, you got an answer.
Yeah, self-care for me is sleep.
I hear
Silence.
that.
That's a necessity.
I mean, sometimes I will take a weekend and just sleep. And I don't really watch TV ever. So like I'll like binge watch something on Netflix. Like that's self-care for me. I'll be chilling. Or like being able to do my nails or I don't
You do your
know.
own nails?
My toenails, yeah.
Oh, you cold for that.
Yeah. I don't do my
That's
nails
love.
gender. So,
That's love. I like that.
yeah. You can't.
Baby, start doing your nails again. When I met you, you was doing your feet.
Ugh.
Do your feet again, baby.
Y'all do your
I love you.
nails?
My wife was doing her feet when I met her. She was cold with it. She was cold. She got bougie in 2020. See what COVID do?
It's nice to go get your feet done though. Like I do that sometimes. Like if I have the time, that's self-care, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something else, bro?
Oh, I don't want to keep grilling you.
No, it's okay. Go
You ain't
ahead.
asking us no questions.
I got, this is
you
the
feel me?
last one.
We are
Just-
interviewing you, but it's a conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
We got two more. So,
Okay.
what advice would you give young Black creatives, especially women who may be struggling to find their voice or manage their mental health?
Oh, what advice would I give? If you're struggling to find your voice, I just always, me personally, this is just my own thing. I lean into God. Like that is my safe place. That is what gives me guidance. So if you are struggling to find your voice, then lean into God and then also do things or find things that you like, whether it's trying out like a whole bunch of different activities, going to do a whole bunch of different things outside, just really stepping outside of your norms and seeing if there's something that you love that's not just corporate America sitting at the desk. Is there something that you're like naturally good at? Is it a God-given talent that you have that you just don't notice that you have? Like my brother that passed away unfortunately last year, he been cutting hair since he was in high school, and he was like doing insurance. Then he went and did some other stuff and this and third. And I looked at him one day, I was like, why don't you just cut hair? Go to school for that. Like you're naturally good at that. You already cutting your friends' hair. And then he was like, oh, I never thought about that. Went to school, got his barber's license, and then he was doing great. It's a God-given talent. Sometimes it's right in your face.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
I like to agree with that because a camera was just a hobby for me. You know, it was just something that I always wanted to get into, and then I had friends that got into it, and it was just a hobby of mine for 8 years. And this year now, Dream Architects will be a business for 5.
Nice.
And it was just because one person. It started with a favor, and then after that favor got led to another client, which got led to another client. And it was like, hey, I should be doing this.
Yeah.
But it's not what I wanted to primarily pursue. It was just something I just happened to be good at, and I was just doing it.
Yeah, but I've always been told if you do what you love, you won't have to worry about money.
Man.
I've heard that as well.
Yeah. That has been something that has been drilled into me. It was something that she was like an aunt to me, but she was my cousin. You know how to older. Yeah.
Yeah.
She as I was like going through high school and like early college or whatever, she used to always tell me like, because I was in school in college actually trying to figure out what I wanted to major in, and she was just like, don't worry about that, just do what you love. And she was like, do whatever classes make you happy, whatever brings you joy, do what you love, and money will follow you wherever you go. And that is something that has stuck with me.
So where did is that what you went to school for, interior design?
No, Not at all.
So where did that come from then?
Literally, me. So I would say, because I do.
Man, what was your major?
It was arts and sciences. I had a concentration in this type.
That's my shit too.
Yeah. So
we all went to school together.
Yeah. What was the question? I lost it.
Where did interior design come from?
Right.
My mom, when I was growing up, she used to always drive around before she had purchased her house that she has now. We used to always go around and look at model homes, and they would always like have the staged homes or whatever, and they used to always look so fabulous. And me and her used to go, and she used to always admire and look at all of the things. And then when we would go to stores, she would take me to like different furniture stores, different like just always looking at pillows, looking at plates, and looking just at home stuff all the time. And because she loved it, I naturally like gravitated towards it because I was always around it. And with my dad, like he always fixing something, whether he finish it or not. He always fixing something. And so I learned a lot of handiwork type of stuff from him. So I kind of combined those two things, and I just naturally found the love for it. So that's kind of where that came from, other than me just, I don't know, just decorating stuff. Like when I was in college, I used to like decorate my apartment, and I would advise other people on how to decorate their like apartments and stuff like that. So it was always around. I don't know.
So Home Goods and that home hate to see you coming.
They real bad.
I'll say, yeah.
I'll be at Home Goods for hours. Like some of the workers, they know me by name, or they'll be like, "You still in here?" Like, yeah, I'll probably be here a little bit longer. Cause I just have to. Normally, when I'm at shopping at stores, I am shopping for more than one client. Mm-hmm. So I'm like trying to like make sure this stuff is in this budget. This stuff, like I normally will walk out about 3 carts full. And I have to squeeze it into my car. I need a work truck real bad. But
get you a van.
Yeah, I be maneuvering it into that little car. So, yeah.
So, just to close out, what are you working on? What are you inspired to do? And what is the message you want to leave?
What I'm currently working on is I am staging houses now. So I'm partnering with a lot of real estate agents on getting their homes staged and prepared to sell. I'm also helping them like source out materials for their homes and stuff like that, whether that's like flooring, paint colors, different countertops they should try to match up with this certain type of style. Like I'll give them like mood boards or like different, like it's called like a ship list where you like put all of the things on there and you could like send it to them and they could shop off of the list. So those are things that I'm working on. I have started to do decorating for events, which was never a part of the plan, but people just, when you have your own business and you're trying to keep the lights on, you get real creative. So I started learning how to like do the balloons. I already knew how to do, when I first started, I didn't know how to do centerpieces. So I just started to learn how to do it. And then when I just did recently the Shades Bridal thing, like that was me freestyling with the curtains. I didn't know what I was doing. So that's what I'm working on right now.
What do you aspire to do, and what do you want to leave the audience with?
What do I aspire to do? I aspire to one day open up a wedding venue.
Open up a wedding venue?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want a large wedding venue that holds different businesses inside of it, whether it's like a beauty shop, a barber shop, things that you would need for the day of the wedding.
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah. A one-stop shop would be great.
What side of town? Would it even be in Ohio?
I don't know. I don't know if it would even be in Cleveland.
What about Ohio?
I don't know if it would be in Ohio. I don't know. But I keep envisioning or feeling a want or gravitating towards that. I just want a wedding venue. I think that weddings are beautiful. And they're just days of like light and love, and just not just love of the couples, but just love of two families coming together. It's just, I love weddings, and that type of energy is just always happy and joyous and stuff like that. So, and it also will allow me to decorate. Like I always see like these different event designers, and they're like doing these beautiful florals where you got these trees on TV or on tables and like all of these florals and just like exotic, cool looking stuff. I'm like, I want that. So that's something that lately I have been aspiring or wanting to do.
And what do you want to lead the audience with?
I don't know.
Whatever you're liking, whatever you're choosing, maybe. It could be a saying, it could be a phrase.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Yeah, no.
Don't eat yellow.
Yeah, that's gross.
My dog definitely peed.
Give him something. It did that.
All right. I think I'm gonna stick with the thing that my cousin told me. Do what you love, and then money will follow you. Because I think that's very true. That it?
That's money.
That's money. Well, that's a wrap, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be hitting y'all up soon. Peace.